Hello, Seiiti Arata. A relationship prison is one of which you want to get away, but you find it difficult. And it's an abusive relationship because you feel violated for having your limits disregarded. And although the relationship is toxic and do you harm, at the same time you have trouble making a move towards a breakup. That's why we call it a relationship prison. Could you be locked up in a relationship prison? A relationship prison is that in which there is an emotional gap and a lack of reciprocity. You cannot be who you are because of the abuses from the consequences. You cannot say that you don't like something that you don't really like. You cannot have time for yourself because all of that will cause a big tantrum, a very strong negative reaction. It happens when you are in a relationship with someone who manipulates you, who wants to determine what you're going to wear, the way you handle your finances, the people who you're friends with, what you eat, what you do, everything. That kind of person makes you feel bad. They threat you in order to get what they want. They make you feel sad, manipulated, and controlled and imprisoned. You don't even know how to communicate anymore and how to express yourself because you know that you will be criticized and violated for basically anything you say. Sometimes the abusive person will try to keep you away from the people around by saying that they are doing you harm, when in fact, they are the ones doing that. Pay attention to the difference between wanting someone and wanting someone to be well. In a relationship prison, the other person only wants you. You understand that? In order for a relationship to be healthy, you don't need to agree with absolutely everything. Actually, disagreeing is quite normal and it's healthy. It's a positive thing to be able to communicate with someone and share different perspectives. That makes intellectual exchanges richer, you grow, you learn. What is unacceptable is disrespect, a mockery of other people's opinions. So making fun and considering the other person to be inferior, that's abuse. Therefore, pay attention to the indicators that you're being disrespected, placed in a lower position and having your ideas, your opinions overlooked. If you notice that pattern, you can set limits and openly talk about all that you're feeling and ask to be treated with respect. Set the limit of what is acceptable and what is not, and be prepared to end that conversation if your limits are not being respected. Don't let yourself to take part in situations where you're being placed in a lower position. So why is that people remain in a relationship prison? When realizing that they are in an abusive relationship, adult people usually walk away, but some people decide to stay. And fear is one of the reasons trapping people in abusive relationships. There's a great deal of anxiety about what may happen if they break up the relationship. Fear is a long topic. We'll leave that for future videos within our series, but if you already want to know what we have here, you can check our full course, arata.se/how to say no, and over there you'll learn how to overcome different types of fear. Sometimes they believe that they need to stay in a relationship prison to protect their children. They don't want the experience of leaving the relationship. But they forget that it's better to get out of a bad place than to continue living in a bad place. Some people stay in a relationship prison because at some point, especially in the beginning, the relationship used to be good, or maybe they have never noticed the negative aspects. In other cases, the relationship prison develops slowly. People will build up the prison by themselves for participating in the drama triangle that we already explained in the video. Relationships without drama, you can go to arata.se/without drama. Be careful if you are going through manipulation, which basically happens when the other person plants ideas in your mind. They keep saying repeatedly that they are the only ones who can love you, that other people are evil, blah, 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 blah. They play this us versus them game so that you'll stay by their side. And that is a constant process of manipulation so that they can imprint their reality in your eyes. And slowly you begin to believe the things that they say, and then you lose your boundaries and you don't know anymore where do you begin, where you end, because now your way of seeing the world is impregnated with their view, and you might even think it is normal to be in that relationship. Another reason to stay in a relationship prison is guilt. which is also part of the manipulation. The person says that you should thank them for everything that they did for you and that you don't do anything right, by the way. You're never good enough, and then you become desperate to be able to fix something that haven't even broken in the first place. Sometimes they make you feel like you have an eternal debt to them and because of some event in the past, and they blame you for all the conflicts in the relationship. They play the victim role. Be careful with that. Don't push it. If you buy a shoe that hurts because it's too tight, well, pay attention. The shoe is not your size. Love is the same thing. If you're constantly pushing hard, in pain, waiting for things to finally get better, I'm sorry to say, but you created a fantasy, an expectation, an idealized image. You have a dream of how your relationship might be one day in the future. You must realize the reality of your relationship. Watch this video over and over, as many times as you need. And don't be ashamed of talking about ideas related to this topic with people who are close to you so you find new perspectives. The secret is to know how to set limits, and that is why the course How to Say No will help you gain assertiveness in communicating what's best for you. The boundaries will give you the necessary confidence for you to only allow what is good into your life and to keep the bad stuff out of it. You deserve to live healthy relationships with true love. So you can go to the link arata.se/how to say no, and then you will learn today how to put up healthy boundaries and respect yourself.